While my mom was pumping our car with gas, she suddenly locked the doors. My little sister and I looked at each other in the car, then back at my mom. She was gripping her keys in her hand, and even though I was only 4, I knew something was wrong. She was taking us on our first road trip, but before I could ask what happened, I heard someone say, "Hey ma'am, you traveling alone?" A guy I had never seen before walked up to her and saw me and my sister through the window. He smiled and said, "I hate to see a single mom traveling alone. Do you want me to follow you just to make sure you're safe?" My mom just smiled at him and told him no. She could defend herself, but I could tell he didn't like that. He asked her again, "Are you sure? I'm gonna be right behind you anyways." But she just smiled and got back in the car. She locked the doors as soon as she got in, but even though I felt like something was wrong, she just smiled. She was driving faster than normal, so we ran out of gas pretty fast. But when we pulled into the next gas station, I asked to get out with her. I was helping her pump the gas when out of nowhere she grabs me. "Honey, get in the car, now." She started pushing me, and when I got in, she locked the doors. I looked out and saw the same man sitting in his truck staring at us from the other pump. There was literally nobody around, but as my mom was rushing to stop pumping the gas, it started spilling onto the ground. "Whoa there, you need help with that, miss?" It was him. She told him she was fine, but he came up to her and grabbed the pump. I thought maybe my mom knew him or something, but as she stood there trying to get the gasoline off her shoes, I saw him looking at my sister sleeping in the back seat. I was still in kindergarten, but old enough to know when someone is up to something. He asked again, "Ma'am, just let me follow you for a while. I promise you'll feel nice and safe." I watched her try and make up a lie, but she just stood there. Then my little sister woke up, and when she saw my mom outside, she put her hand on the glass. This guy smiled at her, and my mom was standing there frozen because he wasn't leaving. But then I watched as my sister reached over and put her hand next to the unlock button. She was only 2 years old, but knew what it did. I said, "Gracie, don't," but she pressed it. All of the locks clicked open, and the man looked at her with his eyes wider. I saw his hand start to move, and my mom yelled, "No!" He opened her car door, and I screamed, "Gracie!" My mom tried to grab him, but since he was way stronger, he pushed her. She fell back, and he tried to grab her from her car seat, but just before he could get the seatbelt off, I heard my mom yell at him, and she stabbed him with her keys. The man fell backwards, losing his grip, and I saw a handgun fall out of his pocket. He was trying to pick it up while my mom got the front seat, locking the doors as fast as she could. She didn't even pay for the gas and just floored it out of there. She was panting, my sister was crying, and she was going 90 down the highway and asked me to grab her phone. But just as I was saying, "Mom, who was that?" we saw the lights behind us. My mom started to really panic, and when I handed it to her, it wouldn't turn on. She threw it on the floor. "No, why? It must have been dead." But my mom knew she had to do something. I watched her think until she said, "Honey, take the wheel." I was only 5. "Mom, are you serious?" "Yes, you're a big girl, be brave." I did, and she took out a piece of paper and wrote something on it. I was so scared, trying to keep us on the road, but it was our only hope. And as soon as we saw the next gas station, she took a $100 bill and the note and ran inside. I saw the truck pulling in behind us, and just as he stopped, my mom slammed her door shut. She floored it again, this time crying her eyes out. I had no idea what that note said, and she told me to just be quiet. I saw the gas tank was super low, and my mom was hitting the steering wheel. She was so stressed out. She was saying, "Please, please, almost there, please." And I saw the hotel ahead of us just as we ran out of gas. We didn't even make it into the parking lot, and my mom just grabbed my sister, rushing me inside. We saw the hotel manager waiting there, and he told us to hide in the back. We were all crying. Then I heard the door open again, and my mom covered my sister's ears. 30 seconds later, I heard a loud bang. It turns out my mom gave the cashier that $100 bill and a note begging him to call the hotel and tell them we were being followed. The man had walked in behind us and asked for a room key because his wife and kids just got there. They gave it to him, but when he opened the door ready to point the gun at us, there were police waiting, and when they saw the gun, they fired.